All right, this is actually going to be something new because if there's going to be like no script involved, I haven't, prepared anything. This is mostly done from memory, but it's not a poem or anything. It's actually stories about someone I actually have with me. So, oops, this is my cat Amber. She's a lovely little kitty. Um, I actually have had her for about 14 and a half years, so almost about as long as I've officially been in North Carolina. And if you could see by the color of her eyes, that's why I called her Amber. She's a cute little ringtail, short-haired tortoiseshell, which I never really understood, um, how a cat could be that. I thought she was like some kind of tabby or something, because I had a cat, many years ago that was very similar to her, and I don't know if we just accepted that, or I just figured I'd share a couple little stories about the kitty. And say, nearly it's like going on 16 years of life, because when I found her, she was just we didn't actually know how old she was, and so we didn't think she was going to get this big. You know, aw, not a cute little thing. Yeah, she's got a little motor going. Weirdest thing is the fact that if she wants to kind of come inside, and you already kind of pick her up and holding her, for a little bit she'll be just kind of just kind of be relaxing. But then you start petting her, and you start kind of looking at the door. Then she'll start purring, looking all cute. He's like, I want to go inside, human. So, yeah. Aw, what a cute little thing. Yeah. But I pretty much found her when she was a kitten. I was out walking, minding my own business, and I looked kind of down over this bridge, and there was this little kitten. Well, I mean, not like the super little ones. I mean, it's enough that it's starting to take better shape, like a kind of like a, I guess I would say like a maybe like a teenager cat. And I thought she was the cutest thing ever. Then I just kind of turned away, and I didn't see her. And it turns out she actually crossed the creek that was underneath the bridge, and she just kind of stared at me. And I'm like, okay, what? I said, what are you doing? She let me pet her, and then she was kind of looking at me like, said, yeah, I'm going with you, human. It was just like, come on, let's see where you live. And so, so I can claim it for myself. Aw. Hey, don't bite. Yeah, sometimes she can get a little fussy. But she's a good little thing. We kind of had her for about a month before we officially adopted her, and well, everything was fine. And then since we had a bit of a drive on the way home, everything was fine. So we kind of got up at the top of this mountain, and then apparently the cat decided she didn't want to be in the cage anymore, so she pooped. Yeah, she was a naughty little thing. She still does it too. It's like you could actually, make her completely out and say clean her completely out. And say in just that few minutes it takes to get home, she's already reloaded. Yeah. So one thing is kind of weird is the fact that she likes going to me or my grandfather more than my grandmother, because I guess maybe the imprinting things. But my cat could spend like hours on my grandmother's lap. If no one else is around, it's fine. But as soon as me and my grandfather sit down, she will hop off and look at you, like saying, It said we're doing this now. So, oh, good girl, what a cute little thing. And it was just like, it could be said a lot of things. The cat's like, come on, let's see, what you can do, and she'll get in your lap, get all cuddly. But sometimes she'll just eventually get up and go, which isn't say go want to go outside, and not a big deal. But she does not like the wind. As soon as it starts blowing, she will come racing in back. So you could be like ready to call her name, and everything, not see her. Then all of a sudden, you just catch this gray streak out of the um, edge of your eye, and there she is, like looking like said, I don't like the wind. Let me in, human. Weirdest thing is it's a weird little thing. that she likes to do is that, despite being so old, she'll will knead on people. And one time, my grandmother actually had a stiff spot on her leg, and as Amber tried to get on that thing, she's like, "I'll fix that for you," and just starts kneading. Said on the thing like she's just giving a nice little bit of pester massage. And we're just like, "Come on, Kitty, that's my job." Uh, I said, "It's nothing bad. It's just the fact that you know, Kat wants to be as comfortable as she can be for however long she's inside. Some days she'll basically come in, for like a few minutes and go back out like, okay, I said the cat inspection is complete. Other times, she doesn't want to get up. And weirdest thing is that um, when she's let in early in the morning, sometimes she'll be outside of the not directly outside my bedroom door, but there's a door just beyond it that leads to the downstairs area, and she'll be wailing like she's going like Matt, Matt. And sometimes I will let her in, but other times, I'm just so sleepy that nothing happens. Um, but she's gotten this little habit of the fact that eventually she'll stop meowing, let's say, and she'll kind of hide down on that top stair, perfectly. So as soon as you open the door, she can rush in like it's nothing. And good girl. And it just like she's getting a little too smart because she actually used to do this thing where she would do this kind of somersault trick on like various doors to get them open, and sometimes they would because if you don't hear that little click, the cat's like, I know what that means. It's like, come on, kitty. If you want to go in there, just tell us. You don't have to do anything fancy. But one thing she's actually kind of gotten out of is the fact that she won't try to swat you, you know, and instead of run away when she's in the house a little. Because sometimes she'll do a quick little thing when she gets the tap and kind of run away, like chase me, chase me. Because one time, my grandmother literally got swatted a little bit, and the cat managed to get back up into her bed and lay down like I said, I was here the whole time. And which people could have believed her, but she was just smiling away. Aw, don't know what kind of face she has right now, but there she is. What a good little bit. Yeah, she's gotten a little bit more white around her face as she's gotten older. Hmm, what a good girl. It kind of reminds me of that cat from The Godfather, and apparently it was just like this little stray that they brought in, but the cat was like super friendly, almost like the cat realizes, hey, if I play my cards just right, I can take over the house, next week. Until that happens, I gotta play nice. Oh, what a good girl. This would be one of those kind of cats you would have, like an evil genius would have, gently stroking it. But then I would probably be the person that would actually have this. It's really the super intelligent cat that's actually controlling everything, and I'm just the person that's kind of like a ventriloquist dummy. She really hasn't had any other kind of interaction with too many other animals. I mean, there are these two stray cats, or we're not entirely sure if they are strays, around the neighborhood. And she'll kind of stare out the window when everything is fine, but she has not tried to, you know, let's say bring the cats close or anything. Because I always just kind of wonder, if she ever found a kitten, what would she do with it? Aw, what a good girl. So, but one time she did have a decent exposure, like to a dog. She was mad, but the dog was just not paying attention to her because I think the dog was a little bit on the dumb side. So, so it was just the fact that she was arching her back. It's like she was just ready to pounce, but was like the dog wasn't like wasn't caring about anything. It was just the fact that the dog was like, well, where exactly am I? It was just because my sister was in town for a brief amount of time, and she brought the dog kind of and said with her. Of course, that was the time my oldest niece learned the thing said don't kiss a kitty that doesn't really hasn't really given you that kind of trust. While this Amber didn't really mind anything when she's kind of being held in a way she doesn't like to be held. Um, she'll let you know. Or sometimes she gets really fussy when I have to put her in the cage at night. It's only for like not even a minute because when I put my car in when I come home. Um, sometimes there's no one else there to help you, so you have to just kind of put her in the cage, put everything in, and let her out. And sometimes she won't want to go in. Other times, she'll kind of play around, and all of a sudden she'll just kind of get you, um, from the behind the bars. I'm like, Kitty, that's not how this works. And yet, she'll meet the Sid after a few minutes. She'll get up on the car because it's nice and warm. And she's all happy. Like, Kitty, you really need to understand what kind of message you want to send. Aw, what a good. Yeah. I definitely would say is the fact that it's kind of cute, when she does things like sneezing, just because she doesn't do it that often. She's always like, "What kind of sound was that?" And say, and you're just like, "Hey, that was a sneeze," and just like she kind of looks at you like sometimes like, "Well, that wasn't from me. If you're the only kitty around here." And she's not actually too big on human food, and we'll feed her like little bits of meat, and fish on occasion. But the few foods that she really does like are flaming hot Cheetos and little white marshmallows. She doesn't like the fruity kind, but for some reason you put it in front of her, she's like, "Ooh, what's this?" And she'll start, enjoying it. Not entirely sure what kind of goes through her mind when she, has something like that in front of her because she could eat it, the previous day, and she's like, "Well, what's this again?" And like really, kitty? Like you're getting a little funny in your old age? I mean, you were born gray, but that doesn't mean that's any excuse for being a little bit nutty. Aw, I really like it. I mean, I actually I never really wanted I said a pet, after I had moved up here from Florida because I had to leave behind a dog that was really nice, super friendly, but I couldn't take him with me, and would just like always kind of wonder, would we ever kind of get to that point? It's like fate just said, here you go. It's kind of interesting because it was actually right around Halloween that first time I saw her, so it's like trick or treat. It said, here you go. I'm like, okay, just kind of wish that she was more like a few other cats I had in the past. I had two of them that were the kind that would love to, said definitely love to snuggle with you, but one would groom you a lot if you just kind of sat still, but she had a habit of staying outside, so I could be almost asleep, hear this kind of noise at my window, and I would just see the cat going like hello, and like, come on, kitty, you gotta stop staying out late. And then wasn't anything bad, but she never seemed to want like a friend or anything. It was just kind of like one cat we had. She well, actually, was just kind of looking around and was looking and would look at my mom, just like there's something missing here. And we just figured he wanted a friend, and he did. And of course, it was kind of interesting when we finally did get a dog after getting another cat. So it was almost like they kind of became like surrogate parents. It was kind of the cutest thing ever because they almost like taught the dog how to kind of be a little on the subservient side. And again, and said one cat, the previous cat I had before this one, hated the replacement dog because the dog was smart enough to actually realize how to fight back. So it's like the dog would immediately, go on and say, get up on, yes, I would turn over very quickly. Oh, come on, what you doing? Nope. Hey, don't be fussy. It's okay. It's okay. Just want to show you off one last time. Yeah, guess she wants the focus to be on her. So, I hope you guys kind of like this little experience. Maybe I'll share something again in the future. So, hey, bye bye, Amber. Aw. And hope everyone has a good rest of your week.